One of them things that say make you want to slap your mama. How about if I slap my daughter?
I'm making a chocolate coconut cream tart. And the whole point of this tart is to taste like my mom's favorite chocolate bar. Now I'm gonna get started on my crust. I added 17 chocolate wafer cookies into my food processor, 3/4 cup of toasted almonds. And I'm just pulsing this up until it gets fine. All right, now I'm gonna add 1/3 cup of granulated sugar, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Pulse it up again. Now I'm gonna pour in 6 tablespoons of unsalted melted butter. I'm just gonna pulse that until it comes together. That's good. Pour my crust right into the pan. Spread this filling all the way out and up the sides, of course, because it's a tart. So this is gonna come out of this dish and stand on its own. My oven is preheated to 375. I'm gonna bake it for about 13 to 15 minutes. And while this bakes, I'm gonna make a ganache for my tart. A ganache is basically making a chocolate sauce with chocolate and milk. But in this case, I'm actually gonna add a little bit of light corn syrup to make it a little more smoother and mellow. So I have 4 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate that I'm just cutting up with a serrated knife. And I'm gonna head over here to my stove and melt it. Turn my pot on, add the chocolate. I have 1/3 cup of heavy cream. And I'm also gonna add a tablespoon of light corn syrup. And what I'm looking for is just a nice, smooth, chocolatey sauce. My ganache is done. Let me grab my tart. Gosh, it smells like that toasted almond and chocolate. Grab my ganache. And I'm gonna pour this ganache right into the center of this tart. When the ganache sets up, it's gonna be a thick layer of a stable like fudge. And when you bite into it, it'll actually melt in your mouth. Now I'm gonna let this set up in the fridge so the ganache can set up on top and get nice and solid. I'm gonna let that hang out for about 15 minutes. All right, so now I'm making the filling for this tart. It's gonna be a coconutty custard. I have 1 cup of whole milk in here and I'm gonna add 1 can of coconut milk, full fat. All I want to do now is just heat up the milk until I start to see little bubbles form, like the start of a rolling boil. All right, I see some bubbles starting to form. I wanna take my Dutch oven over here and get this filling going. I'm gonna need 4 egg yolks. So I'm gonna separate them. Okay, 1. Add my egg yolks to the bowl of my standing mixer, 1/2 cup of sugar, 3 tablespoons of cornstarch, and a pinch of salt. I'm gonna beat this until it becomes nice and fluffy and pale in color. Okay, that's fluffy and that is pale. Now I'm gonna start tempering in the warm milk. If you add a hot mixture to something like eggs, it'll curdle, it'll make scrambled eggs. So you don't want that to happen. So you'll slowly add in your hot to prevent scrambling or curdling. That is done. Take this bowl off, pour this back in here, and take it to the stove and heat it up until it becomes thick, like a custard or pudding. My custard is nice and thick. Let me show you guys the consistency. Look at that. You want your consistency basically to be where the cream kind of coats the spoon. A tablespoon of unsalted butter, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, toasted sweetened coconut flakes. Oh man, okay. I have my tart here that's chilled, my coconut cream filling. Pour my coconut cream right into my tart dish. I'm gonna pop this back in the fridge and let it cool down and set up before I add a few fun finishing touches. Top it off with whipped cream. Some toasted coconut on top, shaved toasted almonds right there.
Oh, yes.
And some shaved chocolate.
Wow. You're supposed to pass it.
Not for dessert.